year 2020 is with us, and what most Ghanaians are thinking about is the election in December. But before then, there's going to be a very important national exercise to enumerate or count the number of people in the Republic of Ghana. And we believe that if the true reflection of the Muslim population in the Republic of Ghana is known to the world, and that will attract interest-free loans from the Middle East and give an opportunity for us to do business with petrol-rich countries around the world. And today, we have a very important guest to help us with this discussion. He is a data analyst and is in the person of Mr. Abass Ahmed.
Abdulahi Abass Ahmed.
How are you doing, Abdullah?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Yes.
Abdullah, you have a wealth of experience with data. You were in New York City,
yes,
working for some time in that area.
Yes.
Tell us your experience when the U.S. has over the years gone to the, to do a population census. How is the euphoria like, and what is the level of education for the people before the commencement of the real exercise?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful program. First off, my name is Abdulahi Abass Ahmed, formerly known as Abdullahi Jibril Madaha. That was the original name I had before I go to the States. So I am a Ghanaian. I was born at New Fadama before I moved New Fadama here in Accra, before I moved to the United States. You've asked a very important question. Of course, this is in my capacity. I would say I have some expertise in data quality, data privacy, and data-based development and management in general. And so, yes, I mean, since the euphoria or the current issue boils down to government having the right census, basically knowing the population, census exercises. Yes, in the U.S. it is true. Actually, before I came to Accra last month, and such exercise was also being undertaken in the U.S. Okay. Actually, one of my good friend, Famud Kone, who works in New York City, is actually a Liberian American. He's actually one of the key leaders who is also in charge of helping the Africa or African diaspora community in New York City to make sure that they are well counted. And so in my understanding, the processes in the US is much more sophisticated. It is much more robust because this is a country that has a high level of information. The literacy level is very high.
Yeah, and so more than half of the population are illiterate.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say illiterate per se, but lack of information can derail the quality of data or people coming forth to report information. Yes, and so, as a data practitioner, the most important thing is to put together a team, making sure in each of the constituencies or assemblies or regions, you have a team that is actually able to inform the general public about the importance of being counted. Yes. And indeed, Ghana being a flourishing democracy within the West African region, I think that this exercise, if done well, it's going to help with policy, and it's going to help with assisting citizens with all sorts of services, as well as helping with the quality of the outcome of elections. And so, putting together the team and putting together the processes and the systems as it relates to collecting the data, analyzing the data, it's important.
Abdul, what goes into you mentioned the quality of information in data collection? Is this just the mechanical way of what is your name, what is your hometown, are you male or female, what is your age, and where do you stay? Are there more sophisticated ways of easily picking out people out of a crowd? We now hear of facial recognition. We now hear of chips and other forms of technology that can track the movement of people. What is the latest state of the art in terms of identifying people beyond counting them?
One important aspect of data quality when you are collecting data is to first understand that is first to understand what type of information you are looking to collect. If you are looking to collect information of population, in this case census, it is important to address the underlying mechanisms of collecting the data. Are you using latest digital technologies to collect the data, or are you using, for example, the manual way, which is normally the way in most underdeveloped countries? And so if a lot of care will be taken in terms of what type of data is going to be collected, it can improve the overall collection of that data. And then also there has to be a mechanism where after the collection of the data, there will be a follow-up to match it with previous data collected. So you can match what you are collecting now to see whether it is making sense to what has already been collected. And so there's no such thing as bad data. The only thing bad data becomes bad, or demographics information of citizens are not well collected, is when it is not matched with previous data collections, to do the analysis properly. Now, in terms of new technologies, yes, I did hear about artificial intelligence, using facial recognitions, using chips, and in some countries actually using geographic information like geographic information systems such as Google and others to analyze movement of people.
And how densely populated or scarcely populated in a given area is. Because from the satellite you are able to zoom and find out the traffic, the human traffic in the area.
Absolutely. So that gives you an idea of the amount of people that exist in a particular region or in a particular section of the community or society. But you cannot put any premium on the fact that people know people. And so asking questions, having people on the field, having people on the ground to actually sensitize people, to let them know about the importance of why they are collecting the data, because citizens have the right to know what is being collected. And after that is being collected, they also need to be well informed about the type of services or benefits that those populations are also going to be receiving. And so I wouldn't say technology or the latest digital technologies or tools are the only ways. I would say you should look at both the manual way as well as using latest analytics systems.
We do this once a decade. It was done in the year 2000, it was done in the year 2010. Yes. And the Muslim population in this country was pegged a little shy of 17%.
I see.
We meet the mosque. We meet in the mosque maybe 5 times a day, yes, for people who want to pray in the mosque.
In a lot of the Zongo communities.
Yes, and on Fridays too we meet. What are the tools available to us to have our own estimate or a mock census, so to speak? Are there devices that can be used so anybody who goes into a madrasa will clock in, or anybody who goes into a mosque like a Friday like this will clock in? What are the basic tools available to us so that in case we don't see eye to eye with the numbers that are given, we can say this is what we have?
Yeah, you've rightfully said, in the case of the Muslim or Zongo community here in Ghana, we have the mosques, we have the madrasas, Islamic schools, and then we also have gatherings, major gatherings like Maulid, like outdooring and marriages and what have you. I think in every community, if there can be some type of a survey in terms of having a clear understanding of the number of people that exist in that community, it will help to inform give an idea of what to expect in terms of collection of the data. But educating mothers, educating parents about the importance of registering newborn children, for example, or registering the information of those that have passed on, for example, are important strategies in terms of the strategies that we can put in place. In terms of tools, I would still think the traditional way of paper collection of data, filling out the information and explaining that information is important. But I will also say that available information systems, as you know, Excel is a digital way of collecting information and analyzing that information. There are, I believe, applications that have been built already